This is officially my last video of, and don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends and enjoy the show.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the duck adventure for November the 22nd. I don't believe these ducks. One, I don't believe the weather, actually, because nothing happened that the weatherman said was going to happen. We were supposed to wake up to pouring rain and potentially 10 to 15 centimeters of snow and, you know, -5 and it's +2. And this blue sky, it's bizarre. You know, weatherman's not right. I'm going to discharge fireworks this morning because my rifles are in the garage because I'm cleaning them. I've got them all stripped down. Then, which it's illegal to light fireworks, so I really shouldn't even have told you that. But anyways, I'm going to do it anyways. And then we'll let these little rascals out. And these little rascals want to come in for some food. Oh, you little girls. Are you guys girls ever cute? Look how white and fluffy they are. They're so pretty. I don't know what it is, but I think it's the fluffy whiteness of them that makes them look so Michelin Man type cuteness, you know? All the dark clouds are coming in and the wind's starting to pick up, and it's not a nice wind either. Maybe we are going to get the storm. Come on, Miss Goldies. Come on. Oh, little stripper, come on. We got the stripper and the duck with the limp from this spring. The breeder. That's the little girl with the limp. Look at the two of the gimp ducks. Here, don't go back in there, you silly things. No, don't go around there. Out, get out of the pen. Come on, out you go. Let's go. Oh, these two ducks, both of them are gimp. Let's go. Okay, why would you go back into the pen, ducks? Oh, look at this. Come on, ducks, out you go. There you go. Go join your friends. Two gimp. Oh, they both are walking the same way, guys. Oh, poor gimpy ducks. Oh man, what a crew we got here. Gimp ducks. So the plan of action today, guys, is I've got a 15 amp circuit that runs to this garden shed. And I'm going to change it over to be a 220 volt so I can have two 15 amp 120 volt circuits. So that's the plan today. I'm going to do a little wiring cheating. Totally safe, but I'm just going to do a little cheating. I'm not running another line out here. So this way I can put that big quartz heater that I had in the barn, because it does like 750 or 1500 watts, no matter what setting you put it on. I'm going to put it in here, and then I'm going to put some nesting boxes. I'm going to configure this for the winter. I'm going to put some plywood. I've got some old plywood, and I've got some old coroplast that I'm going to put around the corners so that the ducks don't lean against the metal shed, because the ducks, you know, they like being on the outside of everything, and the problem is that metal shed, the outside is really, really cold. So I'm going to make it so they can't get near the outside of the wall, because I know that's what they're going to do. And so today is get that ready, so that's a winter place for, you know, 20 to 25 ducks. Take some pressure off the barn because you know, I have more ducks than I had last year. So that's my plan today. But right now I'm going to go have a coffee, because honestly I slept in because last night I was up till 1 a.m. I couldn't get to sleep, and then I kept waking up every 90 minutes with the most bizarre dreams. Dreams that actually made no sense. They were just like, it was bizarre. It was like your brain's playing tricks with you. So I'm gonna go have my breakfast, get out here, and probably I'll be just in time for the storm. But luckily I'm working inside the shed, and I took down yesterday. I took the heater out of the barn, and I washed it off. It's drying in the garage. So I feel good that I've got a place to keep all these extra ducks. So we're going to have the room to do the flock this size, because this many ducks cannot fit in the barn. It would, you know, it'd be all right for maybe a little bit, but not if we had a winter lockdown like we do here. You know, if we get a nasty lockdown, like we start, you know, we get 25, 20 below nights for weeks on end. You know, there's just too many ducks here. What the trick is going to be is getting them broken into little squads, you know, separate them who's going to sleep in what building. Oh, look at this. Look at these little sneaks coming back for a snack. Actually, I wonder where the other one is. There was 9 that went down to the lake last night. Only 4 or 5 are coming in for a snack. Oh, you little sneaky girls. I thought for sure we were going to have ice this morning, snowing. But it was Mo's males, his kids, that were going down to the lake with these girls. It wasn't the big ones, the 2 big drakes that I kept. They weren't going down to the lake at night. And I think the reason for that was because those little males were getting beaten on by the big drakes. You know, and that's why they were going down to the lake to hide from these big drakes. Plus, those smaller drakes are Mo's kids. They could almost fly. You know, they were the ones that could get, you know, 30, 40, 50 feet of distance. Where these big ones that I kept, they can't fly. They're basically like Mo. But they're not Mo's kids. I know that for a fact. So we got some new Muscovy blood. I'm off for breakfast. I totally forgot. Eggs. I've gotten 5 eggs in the last 3 days, guys. So yesterday I had eggs for breakfast. Okay, so what's going on in here? Oh, we got a duck in here. A Muscovy with Mo. And that was actually where I found the egg yesterday. Come on, girl. You got an egg for me this morning? Come on, Mo. No. Of course, you know, I got the camera running and there's no eggs in here. I'm looking around and no eggs. Yep, nothing. Oh, you little girls. Well, I only ate 2 eggs yesterday, so I still have 3 in the counter for me to have today. Oh, it's so nice having eggs. I haven't had eggs, guys, in so long. I was actually starting to get sick of oatmeal. You know, this is the thing about, you know, when you, you know, you grow and raise your own food, you know, you only get to eat, you know, what you can produce. It's not like, you know, oh, I'll just whip to the store and buy some duck eggs. It doesn't work that way. You sort of got to get used to the seasonality and availability of what you can produce. It's not for everybody. Because I know I get a lot of people that look at me, you know, like, well, how can you do without? Well, it's simple, you know, if you can't produce it, you can't eat it. Hey, princess! Who's here? You were on the couch, you little sneak. Come on. He is so bad. Oh, that dog. Okay, he hasn't even left the deck. He wants back into the house. He keeps looking back. No, you're not coming back in, Doug. I've been eating a lot of parsnips, guys. There isn't enough to freeze. I think I've had one night I didn't have parsnips yet. And I can tell you, they're really freaking tasty.
And don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends and enjoy the show. A while ago, I revealed my personal situation on what was going on here and how I needed help. And believe me, guys, it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. You know, I have been self-employed my whole life. I'm 53. I've been self-employed since I was 20 years old. I've actually been an employer. I've had my own company since I was 23. I don't know what it's like to work for other people. I don't know what it's like to ask for help. I have always been the person that has helped everybody else and has employed everybody else. So it was very, very hard for me to ask for help. And believe me, I got enough flack personally. And anyways, I'm not going to go into all the negative part of it, but I just want to say thank you to everybody that helped. You have no idea what it what it did for me, it boosted my morale, it boosted my enthusiasm, it gave me more drive, and you know, and I really want to do the duck adventure, guys. You know, YouTube is a big job. A lot of people, you know, keep saying get a job. Well, you know, in my personal situation, because I had to declare bankruptcy in Ontario, Canada, we're allowed to make $2,065. Everything after that, they take 50%. So to live here and to do the duck adventure, to keep the ducks here, to keep the property going, in this part of the world, I would have to get a job that pays $68,000 a year. I got news for you guys. This is a very depressed part of the world. There's not many people that make $68,000 a year as an employee in this part of the world. And as soon as I make over, you know, the $2,065, my bankruptcy drags out to 21 months that I have to give 50% of my income to the trustee. So I can't make any money if I want to be discharged by next year. That's the bottom line. That's the way the law works. And you know, and I don't want to come on the show and ask for help. It goes against who I am, and I don't want to do that. And you know, so my only thing I can do is just to plug along, and hopefully, you know, you people want to see the show go on, and you want to see me do this next year, to do, you know, to raise 1,000 ducks. I really want to raise 1,000 ducks, guys. I want to get 1,000 ducks on the water, and I know, you know, a lot of people, negative people, are going to say, you know, like, don't give up on your dream, walk away, whatever, you know. Well, that's what I say, whatever, to them, because, you know, I think this is really a neat idea. I think it's a neat show. Who would have ever thought we'd have so many people watching a show about raising ducks, you know? And this channel, you know, it doesn't get a lot of views compared to a lot of other channels out there. You know, it's a very, very unique channel. It's a niche channel, but it has potential, you know, because it's about growing and raising your own food, and that's why I started it. Was to share my journey about growing and raising my own food. I never thought that it was going to turn into the duck adventure. I never thought that I'd be raising, you know, ducks for the homeless and sharing it with the world, and all the neat up and downs, and you know, the roller coaster rides of emotions, and you know, all that kind of stuff that gets thrown at us here. And the show throws a lot of stuff at me, and I share it with you. And you know, and I enjoy it, and it's a big job, guys. My day here, you know, ranges anywhere from 9 hours to 15 hours a day. I'm taking care of all these animals. You know, just give you an idea, like the call video, I videotaped, it was over 3.5 hours worth of footage that day, and I had to go through it all. There was stuff that was like not worth showing, stuff that was just garbage, but I had to go through it all. It took me 3 days to break that whole episode out so that it was something worth watching. And plus, I still got to take care of the animals. I'm still getting ready for winter. You know, it's a big job. So I'm not, you know, I want to do the duck adventure, but I know that, you know, if the fans don't want it, and you don't want to help me do it, and you don't want me, you know, to support me, you know, I'm going to suck it up, and I'll just, you know, the show will just have to end, you know, and I will have to walk away from the property, like the trustee told me. You know, the trustee sat me down in the office and said, you have to walk away from the property. And I said to myself, well, the only way I can stay here is if the fans want me to continue the show, because that's the only reason to live here. You know, I'm one-man show here, guys. There's nobody else that lives here except Doug and I, and the ducks, and I'm sharing it with you. And you know, and if I didn't have the ducks, you know, honestly, I'd be back in town. I'd be living in an apartment. I don't want to do that. I want to wing it. I'm going to try it. You know, everybody said, you know, that I couldn't raise the money to, you know, for the homeless shelter, to raise the ducks for the homeless shelter. Everybody said, you know, well, you'll never do it. Well, we did it. That's, you know, I think that's amazing, you know, for a channel this size. And I think that there's hope that we could do it again. I honestly do. And if we don't, you know, I'm not going to keep coming on here and harping and begging, e-begging. I'm not going to e-beg. I'm not going to ask again, guys, personally, to help me. You know, I'm going to ask you to help me do the fundraiser for next year, to raise, you know, the 1,000 ducks. I'll ask for that because it's, you know, it's for the homeless. But to ask, you know, for you to help me to keep the show going over the winter, it's up to you. You want to help to keep the show going? You know, there's the link below the video. You can pledge your support and help me, and I will greatly appreciate it. I will acknowledge you, and you know, and I will thank you, and I will be grateful for your help. And believe me, I will give the show 100%. But I'm not going to bring this up again. I'm not going to talk about it. This is officially my last video of me asking for you to personally help me. You know, for I won't do it anymore. I didn't like the response I got last time. It took me a lot to ask for help. I've never done it before. Honestly, guys, I've never asked for help in my life. So it was very hard to do. And you know, I got a lot of negativity thrown my way privately. That you know, everybody got blocked actually after that because I don't need the negativity. I had you know, I've been dealing with enough negativity here, you know, behind the scenes that I never shared with you guys until, you know, at the very end, and I kept it all inside and I kept it hidden from you what I was going through, and nobody had a clue what was going on here this summer. You know, nobody knew that I got served in August, you know, that I was going to be evicted November the 16th, and you know, I kept that all to myself because I didn't want to share it. You know, I'm proud. I have pride, you know, being self-employed my whole life, you know, I couldn't expose that, and finally I had to expose it because the Duck Adventures future was now being, you know, put at jeopardy. So now we're past that, you know, I'm here, I've declared bankruptcy. I've got to wing the next 9 months, and the you know, donations are the only thing that the trustee won't touch. And if you want to donate to help the show go on, you know, you're more than welcome. Not more than welcome. I would greatly appreciate it. But I am not going to make another video. I'm not going to mention it again. These lips will not say "help me" again because I just can't do it. And if the support isn't there, I'm just going to shut it down. I'm, you know, I'm not going to, you know, keep beating the dead horse. I'll just, you know, end it, and you know, and that'll be it. I can't come back on here and say, help me, help me, help me. Please, please, please. You know, it was hard, the last video, and I didn't like the response that I got. I was actually shocked by a lot of the responses. A lot of people don't realize how hard it is to put a YouTube show on. So we have a big cast of characters, and we have a big cast of characters this year behind me here. A lot of really cute ducks. I think, you know, it's going to be interesting this winter. I'm going to have 2 shacks going. You know, I'm going to have the garden shack with a heater, which, you know, that's like $2 a day to heat that place for the winter for the ducks. I've got the barn, which luckily doesn't need heat. You know, so there's expenses. You know, my power bill's crazy here, you know, to keep the ducks all winter. And you know, there's a lot of expenses here to put this show on. It's not just you know, the $480 worth of feed that these ducks are going to eat. It's everything else that goes with it, you know, to keep going here. So that's it. You will never hear it again, me asking for help personally. I'm not going to beg for help. I'm not going to e-beg. I'm not going to plead. This is it. If you want to help, you can. There's a link below. Help me make videos. That's the bottom line. I can't do any more than that, guys. I'm doing everything I can at this end. I'm giving it 110%. And you know, my only other choice is to end it and go get a job and you know, and kiss the property goodbye because I can't live here. That's all I have to say. I've rambled on enough, and I'm going to put it right after this. I'm going to put the breakdown of everything that happened this year on what we lost for predators, what we hatched, what we called, you know, what went to the homeless shelter, and I'm supposed to hear pretty soon. I actually anticipate hearing this week when the date is in the middle of December for when we're going to go down. That's it, guys. I'm going to go and start some work. I got to go do a bunch of electrical work and get the heaters installed in the shed and go on with my day. What a handsome dog. Oh, Dougie. You like the sun, don't you? She's a cool day, guys. Everybody's sunning themselves today. Well, I'm going to go into a dark building that's probably quite cool and do a bunch of electrical work. I'm going to remove this heater from the barn. I'm going to wash it up, and I'm going to install it over in the metal shed.
I've ordered online, it's called a thermal cube from Farm Innovators, I think it's the company. They make this, it just plugs in, you just plug it in, you plug your heater into it, and it's a thermostat basically at your plug, and it comes on at -6, turns off at -1, so it's perfect for the metal shed. And this will give me the extra capacity I need to keep this many ducks I've got this year.
And don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends, and enjoy the show.
All right, I've got everything together here for the big conversion. I've been running around my garage because I knew I had everything here. The only thing I had to go buy was this one ground fault plug, because I didn't have a ground fault plug. I knew I had everything else here in the garage. I save everything, as we already know on the show, and I had a chunk of BX exactly the length I need. So I've got all the necessary items I need to do this job laid out on the bench. I'm going to load it into a pail and go down to the barn. Yesterday I took it out of the barn, obviously, and washed it all up, cleaned it up, blew it out. It was just full of feather gunk and dander, you know, feather dander, that kind of stuff. That's going to be enough heat in the garden shed, because it has two settings, 750 watts and 1500 watts. So if it's, I've got it on that thermal cube, which is supposed to be here on Wednesday. So chances are it's going to probably cost me, you know, I figure it's about $225 a day during the extreme cold days to run that. You know, and I think 750, you know, should be enough, because that's what it's like 4 heat lamps continuously running. If not, turn to 1500, and you know, to keep the whatever, you know, 20 or 25 ducks that are going to be in the garden shack. So I'm gonna go and start doing my electrical.
You're in that, Doug. Oh, this cool weather. Doug's really frisky. I'm trying to walk to the barn here and he's tagging me. I got my hands full of stuff. Yeah, Doug. Okay. No, don't try to trip me. Cool weather. Hey, yes. Oh, God, I better be careful today, guys. He's chewing on my feet here. He thinks it's playtime. Okay, Doug. Oh man, as the dog puts a smile on my face. Crazy dog. All right, let's get to work.
So what's happening here is this is the ground fault that runs to the garden shack. I've got it on the load side so that the whole garden shack has a ground fault. So what I'm doing is I'm running this is the line that goes to the ground fault, or goes to the garden shack. It's actually a heavy duty farm wire. So it's only 14 gauge, but it's, you know, it can handle a 15 amp 220 volt circuit. Plus it's inside a conduit outside, so it's pretty heavy duty wiring setup. It's well within the legal limits, but what I'm doing is I'm taking this 15 amp 120 volt circuit and I'm turning it into a 15 amp 220 volt circuit. So I've got two 15 amp 120 volt lines in the garden shack, and I'm going to mount the box right here is where it's going to go. And in the panel here I actually have a 220 volt 15 amp breaker, which I'm going to steal and reroute some wiring of where the heater used to be. That's used to be two separate circuits because of the heater and heat lamps, but I don't need to have that many circuits up on the ceiling since I removed the heater unit that was right here. Now I'm going to do this with the panel live. Do not do this. Never work in a panel live, guys. Don't do what I'm doing. I've been doing this for years. I used to be in lighting back in the 80s, so I know what I'm doing, electricity. You still shouldn't do it, but I know what not to touch. So I'm going to be doing everything live here today, and we'll get this done inside here. Then I'll go into the shack, and we'll set up the heater plugs in the shack so that we can give the duckies some more space for the winter. Well, you learn something new every day. Well, unless I've got a defective plug, which I don't know for sure, but in a 120 volt system, your neutral and your ground are basically the same thing, because in the panel they're connected through. You put an ohm meter on your neutral, on your ground, they go right through. And with 220 volt, 240 volt, you've only got 3 lines. You've got a neutral, which is also your ground, and you've got, you know, your 2 hot lines. Now, some of the newer ones have a neutral, ground, and 2 hot lines, but the bottom line is, at the panel, the neutral and the ground are the same thing. So I've got the ground faults set up. I got them all wired up like you're supposed to, and the one of them kept tripping. Now, the other one didn't, but the one of them did. So I don't know if it's defective or it needs a dedicated neutral. I don't know yet.
So I've had to rewire it all back because I'm running out of daylight, and the shed over there is dark because I got no power, I can't see, and glasses in the low light level, I'm terrible. So I'm back to square one. Tomorrow I'll go back at this, and I've got to get, I need another circuit over there for a heater. It's the bottom line. I hope I don't have to pull another line over there, or at least pull a neutral. I hope I don't, because the conduit, basically I got to rip out the wire that's in it and run a new line, because I'm using farm wire inside the conduit and it's tight as could be. There's no room for another line. Anyways, job's turned into a bigger job. This electrical thing's got me baffled, guys, because I've been doing electrical for, well, since the 80s. You know, my background was actually lighting. And I can't figure this out because I'm in my garage and I'm looking around here. My whole garage, every single outlet in my garage is a ground fault because I have water in my garage. And my panel is the same thing. You know, the neutral and the ground you put the ohm meter on it and they're connected right through, because I remember taking the knockout on the panel out so that the ground and the neutrals were the same. I remember because I did all the wiring in the garage here. And that means every ground fault plug in here shouldn't work based on the way I just wired it down to the barn. I have to have hit a bad plug. It's the only thing. It's driving me nuts because, like I said, I have been doing this stuff since the early 80s, and I'm racking my brain here doing chores, mixing the duck food here, because I'm blending now food for the ducks, and I'm like looking around and I'm going, every single plug in here is a ground fault, and I shouldn't have this problem. I don't know. Maybe it's because at the end of the day I screwed up and I couldn't see with the light levels low. I don't know. I'll go back at it tomorrow. But I got to do my duck chores. I'm way behind now. There's like 6 Muscovies going to leave here. They're down at the swamp looking at the creek. Look at these Muscovies. 2 of them have already flown to the lake. And tonight it is supposed to go to -10. So tomorrow the lake will be frozen, and they're going to have to fly back, but they're going to leave. Little rebels. I'm in here filling the bathtub and I look up and I see 7 birds flying away. Couldn't get the camera fast enough. Well, if the weatherman's right tonight, they won't be walking home, or they won't be swimming home down the creek tomorrow, because it'll be all ice. They're going to have to fly home. Unbelievable birds. They just refuse to stay at home. I think they're not going to stay home until the lake freezes. It's the only thing makes any sense. They just want to be down there, you know, I don't know. They got a mind of their own, I guess. Okay, now there's more of them going. And a male's going with them. Oh, I'm going to be ice breaking tomorrow. Look at that. Oh, there's another one right behind it. Another one. They just refuse to stay at home. I don't think they're going to stay at home until the lake's frozen. Well, all the females left that male. He had to walk. They just up and took off and started flying, and he had to finish his walk. But first he stopped and he looked back like he was thinking he was going to come back. So if that creek freezes, I'm going to have a real trick getting him home. Well, not if. It's supposed to go like tonight, -10. Crazy birds. Muscovy rebels. That water's chilly. So there's 2 females and a male right there. And the rest of them are down there. Like I said, I think when it freezes, they'll stay home then.
Almost forgot, guys. I got the report from the processor last week on the 16 birds that the provincial vet condemned, that said that they were sick. So here's the report.
And don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends.